Hello everyone. In this video we're going to look at how we can configure our SCU5 controller with a PROFINET industrial Ethernet protocol on it with a PROFINET controller. We don't have a PROFINET controller here, but we're going to use a PROFINET master simulator to show how we can add our SCU5 controller to a PROFINET controller using the GSDML file. I have a controller here, and this is with a PROFINET industrial Ethernet protocol. The way we can check what industrial Ethernet protocol we have is to go into Tools and then hit the Power User, Communication, and then this shows that we have a PROFINET device. And then we also support a couple of different vendors for these industrial Ethernet protocols. One is Hillshare, and then the other one is HMS. Essentially, the configuration for either of them are exactly the same, except that for Hillshare you need the right Hillshare files, and then for HMS you need the right HMS files, support files, the GSDML file. Now that we know what module we have, we can go to our website and see how we can get that information. So if you go to our website r2r.tech and then go to Resources and Documentation, within this menu we're going to click on the support files, and it shows up a variety of support files that we have. Today we're going to look at how to add the PROFINET. So we're going to look at the PROFINET GSDML file. Like I said, we have two different modules. One is Hillshare and the other one is HMS. The steps are exactly the same, but we just need to make sure to download the right files. So in this case it's Hillshare. I'm going to right click on that and then say Save Link As, and then put it in a location where you can pick it up. So that's, I'm going to save it. Once this is done, then in our case we're going to show how we can do it with a master simulator, but in your specific application you're going to use that specific controller software, maybe TIA Portal or S7, whatever the programming language for S7 is for the Siemens. You're going to use that to import it. So we'll show how we will do it with the master simulator. Okay, we're going to open master simulator, the PROFINET master simulator. If you have multiple network cards, you might have to choose the network card that you have, but in our case we don't have multiple network cards, so we're just going to select that, and then we can start looking for the device. Once you open that, it's going to automatically pull up that interface, search the network for the PROFINET device. Just to confirm that this is our device, you see the MAC address of the device, and if you go back to our controller and you can see the MAC address and it ends in 83, and that's exactly what we see on the computer as well. We can give whatever name we want for this, so we're going to give a name, and then with the PROFINET, the network actually sets the IP address for the controller. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set that. So in our case we're going to set the IP address for our controller from this program. So I'm going to set it as 192.168.1. I'm going to give maybe 103 as the IP address. Subnet is 255.255.255.0, and then the gateway is 192.168.1.1, and then I'm going to apply that, and it will update that IP address and all the network information. So once we do that, then we have set the IP address of the controller from this PROFINET master, and we're good to go. Obviously right now you can see that it's not connected. That's because we want to make sure that we're able to configure that. In order to configure that device, you do need that GSDML file, and I'm going to go in and open that file from the location that I downloaded. And the main thing for this, when we import the GSDML file, is that we actually need to set a few things, and one of the first things is that the actual device that is connected, and that is available in DIM17 NIC52RE. This is what we want to look for, so we're going to select that device access point as DIM17. And then we need to set the input and the output from our controller properly. So we have 32 input bytes, so we're going to select 32 input bytes, and the input can be put any of these slots, either 5 or 8, so I'm going to select 5, and set that input 32 bytes to slot 5. And then the output is actually 16 bytes. And so I'm going to select 16 bytes as the output. And then the output can be selected in slot 1 or slot 4. So I'm going to select it to slot 4. And that's about it. And then I can apply. Now once this is done, I can click on the start. And now it's going to bring up the device, and basically we can see the I/O data. Input is actually the output from our SCU5 controller, and then the output that you see here is actually the input to the SCU5 controller. And you can see that the connection state is there, it's established, it says the MAC address. On our device also, if we have some data coming in, you can see that on both on the controller and the device. If I have my finger in front of the sensor, you can see that the data is updating. So that's essentially the way in which we can import the SCU5 controller into the PROFINET ecosystem using the GSDML file. The steps are exactly the same for either the HMS or the Hilshire, only that we need to get the right GSDML file for that. But anyway, that concludes our demo on how to import the SCU5 controller with a PROFINET Industrial Ethernet protocol into a Siemens ecosystem. And please subscribe to our channel for more informational videos, and we'll see you soon.